This, no joke, is gonna be one of the hardest videos that I've ever done. And I've talked to you guys about my mental health and how it's been greatly affected the past couple of months. And now I'm gonna talk about the reason why it's taking a bit of a dive over this year. This girl a mess, y'all. Hi, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I am Kendra, this is 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐿 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿 This is where I share my life with you guys. I also do commentary on a variety of topics, including anything you send to me. So send me some stuff I'd love to discuss. And if that stuff sounds good to you, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I'd love to have you here. So, if you've been around my channel any amount of time throughout this 2023, I have talked about my mental health. I've talked about my struggles. I've talked about the solutions that I've sought in getting help for my mental health. I've given, I don't know if I gave the full backstory. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know, but I'll give more of a backstory in another video because y'all, so much to tell, okay? But I'll talk about that as well, so no fret, no fret. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about finally opening up about what really caused my mental health to take a nosedive in this year. So I got married in December of 2018, and how old was I when I got married? I don't know, y'all, I was old. I was 34. Yeah, okay. So I was mid-30s when I got married finally. And when I met my husband, it was like, oh, I knew he was the one. He was so kind. He was so considerate of others. He was like the man to his friends. He was like such a good friend. He was such a good son and brother to his family. He was good to me. We talked all the time. We were long distance, so we talked a lot and we got to get to know each other. And we had commonalities in life of the things that we wanted and where we saw our lives heading, the paths we were on. And at the time, I did not know that it was like an article that I read recently about basically the greatest factors of whether or not you'll get a divorce. And one of those was getting married later in life or in your late 30s or beyond. And so I think that is definitely a determinant of kind of if you're gonna like make it or not. I'd say probably like getting married really late and getting married really early. And getting married early is because you kind of like don't know yourself, and getting married late is because you know yourself and you ain't changing, you know? So, okay, I digress. But he was the bomb.com. He was something that I wasn't used to. And we never lived together before marriage, which was fine. So once we got married, I moved to Chicago. And it was a great adjustment. When I say that it was extreme because I never lived in a large metropolitan area. I left my single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family home to live in a freaking condo in the city in the middle of Chicago, which is a very different experience for me because I'm a country gal. I'm from Louisiana, y'all, if you didn't know. And it was just very different. And that was a big adjustment for me. My husband is from a different country. He's from India. He was born and raised there. He's been in the United States now for going on a decade. He's very accustomed to the United States. That wasn't an issue. And I know about his culture. That wasn't an issue. So these were non-issues. It is a great adjustment when you live with someone, period, whether that's a romantic partner or a friend or even family members or whatever that you never lived with. And I'd say to say that we had never lived together, we're from different cultures, it was good. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. That first year, we traveled quite a bit. We were getting to know each other more. It was pretty good. I have no complaints. We went back to his country. We stayed with his family. It was wonderful. His family was good to me. Of course, they're good to him. That's their family member. We had finally a reception. We had an actual marriage here in Chicago, like a marriage ceremony and everything. So we had a big reception, and if you guys don't know anything about Indian weddings, they're very, very big. Everyone in the whole village or wherever comes, and a million extended family members. It was beautiful. They celebrated us. We got so many gifts, and they just welcomed me, and it was just very loving. We traveled a little bit around India. We saw the Taj Mahal. When I say it was good, boo-boo. And also on that trip, I found out I was pregnant. So I had a little bun in the oven, and y'all, I was just glowing. I was just gleaming. I remember when I found out. It was just really, really exciting for me. We had been trying, so it wasn't like a surprise. And it was so funny because before we left, we were like packing up things and everything. And I'm trying to pack up my bag and stuff. And I put some pads in there, feminine products in there. And he's like, you don't need those. And I was like, what you talking about? He's like, you're pregnant. And I was like, what? I was like, because we had been trying a couple of months. So I was like, whatever, boy. And I put the pads in there and I didn't need them. So it was all good, y'all. And then I come back. And it's winter time now. So I come back to cold Chicago. He stays a couple of more weeks with his family, and they kind of travel around India, just, family time, whatever. And I was first trimester. I had bad morning sickness. I was crying because I missed my husband. I wanted to be with him. But then he finally came back and everything was all good. And then we just fast forward to baby coming along. And when I say it was rough adjustment, y'all, it was hard. I had postpartum depression. I felt like my husband really didn't know how to handle it or handle me. And when I say you have to be ready, you have to be on point when you have a baby, you just have to be on point and you have to be ready. And although I felt like we were there as far as, finances goes, and we had a home, and, we had so much love to give and all of this good stuff, we weren't ready to have a baby. And because we weren't ready, it caused nothing but hardship. It caused nothing but arguments. It caused nothing but breakdown in communication. It destroyed our relationship. And we let it destroy our relationship. And it was tough. And it's been tough. It's been tough for a while now. I've tried my best to resolve everything. I've tried the counseling. I've tried everything that I know that I could do. And I think that it just boiled down to us not having a meeting of the minds. We could not come together once everything had been broken down so much. And I felt a lot of resentment, and I will absolutely 100% take my responsibility in the demise of our relationship. And I am not going to say it's anyone's 100% fault, because it is not. And I am not going to say that, he did this or he did that, or, I'm talking about myself and what I did. And if anyone can learn from my mistakes, please learn from them. I held a lot of resentment. The first almost 2 years of my son's life, I stayed home with him. And let me tell you, stay-at-home mom, it's a trap, y'all. Okay? It was so whack. People romanticize being a stay-at-home mom, and it's not what it's all cracked up to be, at least for me. What I'm used to and my experience. I was very isolated. I was very withdrawn. I was depressed. It's like all day long, you're with a human that can't talk to you. You love your little baby. You cherish them, you protect them, you hold them. They make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside and all of that. But everything else that I was accustomed to in life, it was no longer, you know? It was no longer me having goals and things that I was working towards. It was nothing but taking care of a child and taking care of a house and making sure that everyone was okay around me except for me. And I knew that I couldn't do it anymore. I could not. So I had to go back to work, because if I didn't, I was going to literally cease to exist. I'll put it that way. So I went back to work and it was all good. And I felt really good. I felt really like I had something to work towards. And of course, that is a whole nother animal right there, because you're working, you're taking care of a child, you know, you're trying to do things for yourself. And it's hard, you know, especially if you have to communicate certain things to your partner and you want them to do certain things and you don't feel like they're doing what they need to do and they feel like you're not doing what you need to do. And this is where arguments come in, the blame game comes in. And I just did not want to have a marriage that was full of disgust and contempt and hatred and nothing but arguments and arguing in front of our child and reflecting to them that this is how you have a relationship, or this is how you resolve conflicts, or this is how you treat your partner. Like, it wasn't good, point blank. It was not good. It wasn't a healthy situation for us, and it wouldn't have been a healthy situation for our child. And that's what I had to realize. And I feel guilt every single day because he's not going to grow up with a mother and a father in the same household. And I feel guilt every day whenever he cries. He wants his daddy. He loves his daddy. And of course, I don't want to, you know, keep him from him or anything. I want them to have a good relationship and a good bond. And I feel like I try to make sure that that happens. And I'm going to always, with every fiber of my being, make sure that that continues to happen, always, because he's a boy and he needs to, you know, be with his dad and, you know, do guy things or whatever men do. I don't know. But it's really hard, you know, and it's just like, what can you do, you know? Because I've seen where couples were together and they shouldn't be together because all they did was argue and fight and fuss. And what does that do? That bleeds into their children's, and now their children are stressed and depressed and anxious, and they grow up and they have these horrible relationships because they were not modeled a good example of what a relationship should be. So while it was one of the hardest decisions of my life thus far, I am separated from my husband, and I am pretty sure we will be divorced. And it is not anything happy. It's not anything good. I'm not celebrating. It's not something that I wish on anyone. I wish nothing but peace, love, and good relationship vibes to everyone. I don't want anyone to go through what I'm going through or feel the way that I'm feeling. And it has been tough on my mental state. It has been tough on every part of my life. And I can feel that it's been a little tough on my baby. Even though he's a baby, he doesn't know what's going on. He knows that daddy's not around and he asks for his daddy. And what can I say? You know, you'll see dad. He'll be around. He'll come get you. You'll spend time with him, you know, and he does. But it doesn't make up for how sad this is and how tough this is. And something that I never thought I would go through at all. How good we got along and how much I loved and cared for him. And it's just over. And I don't know what else to say. But I feel like I should talk about it. I don't know if this could help anyone, but I think it like kind of connects some pieces for you guys if you've been watching like my weight loss journey and everything. Everything affects your ability to lose weight that goes on in your life. And this has been something that has been greatly affecting my mental state, and the way that I cope is with food. And I'm gonna make another video about that because I do have to get help for my coping mechanisms and the way that I see food in my relationship with food. But I'll make another video about that. But I just wanted to talk about this, and I don't want to disparage my husband at all because, like I said, it wasn't 100% his fault. It wasn't 100% my fault. But it definitely has been my decision and my decision alone, because if it was up to him, he would still, you know, be with me. I don't want to exhibit a bad marriage to our child. So we have separated. I know you guys like don't like this video because it's really sad, but if you can relate to anything, I'd love to hear your comments below. If it helped you out with anything, just give it a like. Or if you are in support and solidarity with me, just get a video a like. That's about it, y'all. Check and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you can get further updates from me. I'd love to have you around. Make sure you continue to spread kindness in a world full of hate. I will see you on the next time. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Bye-bye.